2, 3. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog, the weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett, and this is episode 64.
Yeah, it is.
Episode 64.
Square root.
It's a square root. It's also the name of a Nintendo console. Look at that.
Yeah. The
It's
worst
all
one?
of those things. Oh, come on.
Sorry. The Wii U exists.
Yeah, it's not even the worst Nintendo console. We are like not even 60 seconds in and already shooting gazes at Nintendo. Brian Maxwell, everybody. Sorry. How's it going, man?
Good, good. I have a dog now. That's my life. I have a tiny dog.
A tiny dog and tiny
cat.
children and lots of cats. You've got your hands full.
I do.
A lot of hair in that house.
Yeah. It's strange that you went there, but yes, I suppose so.
Yeah. Just connecting dots. They don't necessarily need to be connected. Anyway, yeah, welcome to episode 64, and it's just the two of us tonight. Kring either
We
got
can make
lost.
it if we try.
Kring either got lost antiquing, or he's out doing fun stuff. Luke is comatose, I think. He's not feeling well. He's under the weather, so we miss him. Shout out Luke Phillips. Anyway, we're gonna soldier on. We're gonna do the dang thing, and we're here to talk to you about video games old and new.
It's 2018. We ain't quitting.
Yeah, ain't no quitting us.
No.
But yeah, man. How's your week been going? How are things?
Hasn't been great this week.
No. I mean, the dog does
having a
things
puppy
to
is
the
like
sleep.
having an infant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a night where I slept pretty much none because she whimpers.
Yeah.
We're trying different solutions at night to reduce that. You know,
Like-
she chews on things and pees on things, and she's adorable, but she's a puppy.
Are we sure it's a she now? Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I'm like 80% sure. People
Okay.
who know more about dog genitalia than me seem to believe so. So I respect its privacy. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're
I
not
don't need to
trying
know.
Sure. Let it decide what it wants to be. We're not trying to
Exactly.
assume the dog's gender.
Right. I'm not
Yeah.
forcing my cis hetero viewpoints on the dog.
Well, that's good. You don't want to do that. Yeah, it's been another week in 2018 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things owning a house kind of blows because just everything falls apart and it's your fault and you got to take care of it. And
We are not
2018 has
manly men.
Been a
We
good
are
year for
not.
that.
We're not handy.
No, not
I don't
so
want to speak
much.
for you, Tyler, but
No, it's fine.
I'm not.
Like,
If the
my
thing breaks,
my computer broke earlier in the week, and
fix that.
that's a thing I can handle. Like, that's okay, challenge accepted. And hey, here I am. And knock on wood, she's gonna hold up.
It's never going to blue screen again.
Yeah, episode 65 is it's gonna be the one where it all comes together.
Yep.
For sure. But yeah, plumbing is a thing I don't know anything about, and that continues to be an issue even when we think it's solved. But you know what? Hey, that's why we got video games, right?
Exactly.
You just play those
To escape from
you don't
the
have to
hell
worry
that
about it.
is life. Yes.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's talk about what we've been playing this week a little bit.
Let's.
I'm gonna let you start, Brian. What's tickling your fancy? What are you into these days?
I'm continuing to play Slay the Spire.
Slay the
I'm
Spire?
probably
Mhm.
never going to stop.
Is that really a thing you can do? You can just play that forever?
Well,
I mean,
the other
any
night when
game
I
you can
woke
play
up,
forever, I guess.
when I got up at 1 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep, I played it for many hours.
It's good.
I'm stopping because I don't want to burn out on it before they finish it.
One of those. Yes.
There's a third class announced, and they said today that they are very likely going to add more classes in the future.
Cool.
So I'm trying not to just gorge myself on it entirely before it's done. Like, they keep updating it, and every now and again a game comes along that just feels like it was made for me, and this is one of those. Just right off the rip, everything works.
That's real cool. It's that's a good feeling when you're just like, oh, yep, this is mine. Like this is that was Hollow Knight last year for me. Like there's a reason it ended up being my personal game of the year. It was, felt like it was hand tailored for me.
Speaks to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks really good in motion too. That was something that I didn't really pick up on some of the other videos that I watched, but like the animations and stuff are real smooth. It looks good.
Yep, and it's got the roguelike thing where you're making the best of what you're given every time, and there's a good blend of randomness and choice that really makes each run feel special and feel unique.
That is something that I need to. You said, oh, never mind. Dead Cells is exactly not that, right? Not really a roguelike, or is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
it is. Like you're making progress towards unlocking new weapons, like that will appear in future games.
Okay, yeah.
I think you would like Dead Cells a lot.
That is gameplay really that I do like. I like that feeling of, okay, these are the tools I have, and I'm going to give it my best and do. That death was bullshit. I got one more in me. Like,
again.
I like that. So.
Yeah, I think you'll like that one a lot. Like the controls are crisp. It's visually very, very good.
Rogue Legacy was something that was recommended to me, and I waited. I think that came out like 2015, 2014 maybe.
14, yeah.
Yeah, and I came to that party late, and I was like, I loved that game.
Me too. Yep.
So I need to try more of these. That'll be, hey, it's only February. I can still make a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
The goal is to try more roguelikes. That's what I want to do this year.
Yeah, Dead Cells is in early access too, so I'm kind of holding off on that one.
That was the other dot I was trying to connect. That was another game I remember you saying, like, I like this a whole lot, and it's not quite done yet, and I really want to, experience the whole thing. So
you should give it a try. It's in my library.
Yeah, I will do that. I think I didn't want to like add to the mix last year, but for the Game of the Year stuff. But yeah, I think now's a good time to try that out. Give that.
The part of it that's cool that also makes it really difficult for me is it seems like running through it quickly like nets you bonuses. Like there are doors that will shut in an area after a couple of minutes, so you want to always be moving. And I'm very methodical when I play those, so it goes against my nature to, be running and jumping and slashing through enemies and leaving enemies behind. So there's a train myself.
There's a platformer that I keep seeing GIFs and clips and stuff from. I think it's called Celeste.
Yep, I've heard of it.
On that? That looks very much that. Like, definitely more on the platforming side, but like, it just seems like you're supposed to never stop. You're supposed to just time all your jumps perfect and get from one end to the other. That game looks really cool. Something else I want to.
I'm curious. Yep.
Go. It also looks like one of those where it's like, get it perfect or you fail.
That's what kind of made me apprehensive. I heard it like whispered along the same lines of Super Meat Boy, which is something that I just nope. Yeah. No interest. No, thank you.
It's impressive when you see somebody who's really good at it.
It's cool. That's one of those I can tell is not for me.
Right. Well, that's cool, man. You'll never believe this, but I've been playing a lot of WoW still. It's my game. It's my game eternal. Like
it's evergreen. That's good.
I can go away from it for long stretches of time and come back to it and get just sucked right back into this world. And I think that's kind of, I don't know. It feels like a place that I know. Like they keep adding new stuff and that's all cool. But every once in a while, I'll just like fly through a super old zone, some level 30 zone or 40 zone and just visit landmarks that I remember spending a lot of time in. And,
Is this your gameplay here?
Yes.
Did you just hit something for 2 million damage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. and this, what's crazy, they keep having to do item squishes and stat squishes, they call them, where they basically say, okay, we're hitting things for 100 million damage now. Like, we need a way to, we just need to knock all the numbers back. And so they've done that, I think, twice now. And I think they're going to do it again for Battle for Azeroth when that comes out.
Yeah, just things are out of hand. We need to rein them in a little bit.
It's, yeah, like because now that's pretty much all I'm looking at is like, oh, was that crit 1 million damage or 4 million damage? And it's like,
yeah,
you know, the bosses all have 380 million damage or million HP, you know, at the end of a fight. And you're like, okay, how many crits is that going to be in order to to take that thing down? So
it's just bigger numbers. I'm reminded of the old days of pinball machines, where hitting a bumper would give you 1s and 5s, and then later it's like you get 30,000 and 100,000, and it's like it's the same. It's the same game. We're just making the numbers bigger to, I don't know, make people feel better.
This is newer.
I'm not sure.
You're gonna get you can tell people you got 1 million points, not just 1,000. Yeah. So I think part of that is just because it's out of necessity that the numbers climb. I mean, when they release a new raid, that's how they.
Otherwise, there's no reason to keep playing. It's like, I have all the percent gear. I'm done.
Yeah. So a new raid drops, and they move that up, so it's dropping, X percent higher gear, and you got to have so much to even get into it. So yeah, it's good that they're doing that. They haven't let it get just catastrophically out of hand.
Right. They're aware of it, and they're taking steps. Yeah,
something that they tweak all the time. So
I sure did love WoW for a good year and a half. I was in with both feet.
There's something about it now that, like, I don't love the same things about it as I used to. Like the parts that were great about it when I was in high school were like all my friends were playing, and this was our social thing, and we all
don't try to guilt me, Tyler. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just needed to know each other 10 years earlier. That's all. But no, I mean, it was like everyone was talking about it, and it was the thing to be doing. It was the PUBG of its time, kids. It was the Fortnite of its time.
There you go.
But these days, it's like these characters that I've had for over 10 years. I don't know, there's just something about history that's like very cool to sit down to and revisit. Like I started playing on my rogue the other night that I haven't played in, I don't know, years and years, and got back into it and started to get the feel for it and noticed the changes that they made to the class, and it's a cool feeling to walk through those shoes again. But
feels like it's yours.
Yeah. And they just keep finding ways to keep me coming back, man. The new expansion is available for pre-order now. Battle for Azeroth. You can go and buy it.
That's got to be the most generic name they could have come up with.
Well, yeah.
But you tell me the lore behind it and tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I mean, they're trying to evoke this being about the Horde and Alliance conflict. That's one thing that has gotten out of hand.
Orcs versus humans.
The lore is insane. Like, they always say that. Every new expansion, they're like, we're getting back to the core of the conflict between the Alliance and the Horde. And then 10 minutes later, I'm on a spaceship with Terralion and Ilaria of the Alliance, even though I'm a big old orc and would put my axe right between their eyes if we were in a field somewhere. And I'm helping them kill the Legion or whatever, It's
for the greater good.
In Cataclysm, Thrall's out there helping everybody. He's just green Jesus.
Thrall's a good guy.
Yeah. But so they keep escalating that, and they've gotten to the point where we're literally killing Titans and old gods and like the biggest, gnarliest monsters in creation. And so I think this expansion, at least the front-facing part of it, is going to be, this is about taking it to the other side and seeing who's going to win. I think that will probably last for like the first 2.5 patches, and then we're going to dig up some gnarly old god shit.
Yeah.
And be fighting against the Lovecraftian horrors of the Warcraft universe.
The great old ones.
Yep. There's a lot of that, Brian.
I am into that.
Shadow priests get to kind of like flirt with all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I know you played a priest.
I used to main a shadow priest. That was kind of my jam.
They've leaned way into that.
Undead.
Mm-hmm.
Muckrake was his name.
That is a fucking great name.
It's a good name
for an undead shadow priest. That's real good. Oh man. Hashtag Muckrake. That's good. Bring him back, Brian. I'm just saying. You could bring him back.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me. Oh no. I would use this ring from a desire to do good. If we go too much further, I'm just gonna quote the whole movie, so we better stop. But yeah, man, it's a good time. I know a few people at work have picked it back up again. Shout out Eskarath out there. And oh shoot, that's what I was gonna say. If you pre-purchase the Battle for Azeroth expansion, you get access to a feature that is not fully implemented until the expansion comes out, but it's the Allied Races feature. So they've gotten to the point where if you like, they don't want to just throw new races into the game and create more starting zones and have to give them capital cities and all that shit. Oh, what just happened? People are getting
Nightbot is scolding people in the chat.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, sorry about that. Nightbot, chill out in the chat. We got this. Anyway, yeah. If you pre-purchase, you get access to allied races. They're not just creating new capital cities and you know, making like a full-blown new race. Now they're doing this thing where you have to like recruit these, you know, alternate versions of these different races into the Alliance or the Horde. And it's kind of cool. It's a way for them to do things that players have been asking for a long time. Like, hey, why can't we make the brown versions of the orcs that we see out on Draenor? Or why can't we have the High Mountain Tauren who have the cool moose antlers instead of just the bull ones, and you know, that kind of stuff. So they're doing this in a way that like an allied race character starts at level 20, so it skips that whole starting zone onboarding part of the story.
That sounds good.
And they just have like an emissary in the main city that their people will hang out in and kind of come from. So, but it's cool. Like, it's a thing you do have to actually go through and unlock. Like, there's reputation requirements and certain quest chains that you have to complete on a max level character, but they actually go through and have like this whole fully voiced story scenario that you go through of how your character is bringing them in to join your faction. So it's pretty cool. Right now, the Horde can get the Nightborn Elves, which are like I don't know, kind of like a different version of the Night Elves. And they get High Mountain Tauren. The Alliance get Void Elves, which are traitors, like, blood elves.
Right.
That are all like infused with the void. They're kind of cool. And then Lightforged Draenei, which are kind of the opposite. They're Draenei that have been forged by the light. To use the exact same words that are in the description. But yeah, it's neat. It's a neat feature. Battle for Azeroth will add 2 more races to that. I think it's the Horde get Zandalari trolls, which stand up straight instead of the really hunched over, dopey looking trolls. Mm-hmm. And
I never liked the trolls.
Yeah, that was my first character, was a troll rogue. And I did it. It was almost like I was almost told that's what I had to play. Like, I was filling a role in the group. It was like, we already had an orc, a tauren, an undead, and I think that was the only other race you could. It was troll was the only other one that was available at the time for the Horde. So I was like, all right, I want to be a rogue, so I'll just be a troll rogue, and we'll have one of everybody in our little group.
Man. I think my first character was a tauren druid.
Yeah. Way back in the day.
Yeah.
They were the only Horde race that could be druids back then.
Yep.
Now they let everybody be. No, not quite everybody.
It's shameful.
It's not as special anymore.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, if it's easier or if more people have access to it, then it sucks.
Yep.
It's the rule of the internet. But yeah, Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm gonna be playing WoW for a while. I think it's very good. I've got lots of characters that I'm putting time into, and excited for the expansion. So sorry, everyone, but you're probably gonna get your weekly WoW update from me for the foreseeable future. But yeah, anything else you've been kicking around or getting into?
Why, yes, Tyler.
Yeah.
I have been playing Monster Hunter
Yes. Worlds.
and
Yes.
Monster
Or
Hunter World.
world.
Yep,
World. Singular. Just the one world.
just one world. Yep, it's really good. I am falling in love with that game.
That's surprising. I mean, not
It is surprising.
super surprising, but it's
Yeah, it's real Japanese, and I don't always love that, but it's also not a deal breaker for me either.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game's just charming, and it's got a little bit of the Dark Souls difficulty. Like the combat is very deliberate, and the animations are kind of slow. And once you start an attack, like you're locked into that animation.
right.
There's lots of time when I'm swinging my weapon, and I'm just like, nope, shit, I gotta dodge. Nope, you're not dodging. You're swinging your big axe sword.
Is that what you've been using? A big axe sword, or is that?
No, I picked it up briefly, and there is a sword that there's a sword what transforms into an axe and back. You just hit a button and
Speaking my language with that. That
yep.
sounds neat.
I think if you use it as an axe, you build up charges, and then you can spend the charges to turn it into a sword.
I approve.
Like each of the weapons feels like its own class. I picked up a bow for the first time this week because I was fighting a big flying dragon thing, and I'm not going to walk up and slap it. So the bow felt good.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the kitty cooking animation.
It's real good.
It is real good.
Like usually those types of things really turn me off on a game, like silly little cat people, but they're they're like full on just house cats what stand upright, and I fucking love it.
It's one of the best things.
It's real good. Is all the armor like in weapons and stuff, is it like all made out of the other monsters and stuff that you kill? Is
everything is crafted and nothing is purchased. So
Gotcha.
Everything that you're wearing, you've taken off of a monster or dug up, or
Gotcha.
that part's really cool because everything feels like it's yours.
Huh.
Everything feels earned, and I've kind of reached the point where I had to commit to it or stop playing because I fought a monster that I couldn't just ass my way through.
Right.
It beat me up, and it was really hard to hit, and I had to actually read my field journal in the game, which told me its weak points and showed me, hey, you've got to hit it in its little T-Rex arms and hit it on its tail.
Wow.
Talked about how to break through its armor, which is really cool. So I've got to prep for hunts now. I've got to I've got to eat this meal and boost my stats and make sure I take the right kind of weapons and really put effort into it. And the fights are 15 minutes, 20 minutes a lot of the time. But
that is really cool. I hate to use this as the game I reference for everything because I'm realizing that's what it's kind of becoming, but Rust had an element of that type of gameplay is super addicting. Even
it's rewarding. It's harder, but it's rewarding.
There's something to that whole mindset of okay, I need to prepare to go out into a world, and what I'm bringing is very deliberate for the task at hand. We used to set up, we'd have different loadouts kind of from our base. Okay, we're gonna go on just
based on what you're expecting,
a farming run, and if I was going to just get materials, I'd wear kind of light armor, something I wasn't worried about losing if I died,
right?
And just bring the bare minimum of maybe a pistol or something, and I'd head out into the world. And it's well, if I die and lose a bit of ammo and a pistol, no big deal, and all I've lost is the resource I've gathered. So I really just lost a little bit of time, And then it was if we're going to go on a raid and take someone's base down, it was full Kevlar, bring the AKs.
Right. You're like Neo in the Matrix. You've got guns under your jacket.
Yep. Someone's got the explosives. We're here to do some work. That was a real cool, I don't know. It was that kind of gameplay is extremely rewarding and satisfying. So
this is getting to be very much like that. where everything takes a lot more effort, but it's also a lot more rewarding when you're successful.
That's really cool.
My oldest daughter, has been playing it, and she's where I am in the story. Like, she beat the big, difficult rock monster dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super proud of her. I never know what she's going to latch onto. She doesn't latch onto many games, and I think she saw me doing the character creation in this one because it's pretty detailed. It's like you can choose the hairstyles and the hair colors, and you can choose the eye colors and all these details about the face. And then when I finish that, you get to make your little kitty person companion and choose its fur colors and patterns. And I think she saw that, and she was like, "Dad, can I play this?" I was like, "You're probably gonna hate it, but yeah, you can play it." She's been keeping up with it.
There's something about for certain people, certain types of people, I don't know who, but there's something about that ability to like really make a character your own that I don't know, like
gives you ownership of it right off the bat.
Yeah,
kind of.
I get so much more invested in a game if I feel like, okay, this is a character that I want to expand on. Like here's a good starting point, and I want to see what this can become. It's not just like I'm playing a video game and I'm the warrior.
I'm Master Chief.
I want to. Yeah, I like that whole narrative that you can give yourself. And usually games like that, I wind up making several different characters because I'm like, well, that guy who what wields a switch axe that turns into an axe into a sword, he wouldn't ever pick up a bow, but this ranger person would, and I take it that far. So it sounds like your daughter might be built that way too.
Yeah, and my son was watching me play, and it's kind of like when you're at the end of the hunt, when you've got the monster almost dead, like they'll all kind of like limp away from you. It's really well animated, like it's kind of dragging itself back to its lair to get away from you when you're chasing it. He's like, "Dad, why are you killing it?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Well, son, it has what I need.
You see those scales on its back? Daddy needs those.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, it's just a game, and they give you missions to go on these hunts, and you
got to put honey on the table, man. You got
to. Daddy's got to eat.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I know that there was a little bit of, Twitter controversy over that. Just because controversy is not the right word, but a discussion anyway.
It's easy for that to get heated because there's a lot of like colonialist, values at play where it's like we're coming to a new world and we want to set up camp here, and well, these monsters are going to get in the way of that. Well, we should probably kill them so we can set up our camp here, and like none of it's overtly like malicious in the game. Like everything's always very happy and cheery and bright in the game, but you're still going into these monsters' environments and killing them when they're generally pretty passive until you take a swing at them. And I like the game enough to where I'm okay with that, but I'm aware of it.
And I think, like you were saying, there's this moment where like you've got them beat. Clearly, they're retreating. They're running away from you. They're not attacking you anymore. And you still got to run up and chop them up. And like, if that stuff wasn't done so well, like I think it's a testament to the design in that case and the execution that you feel that at all. That you're just like, oh fuck, this thing's done. Like it's dying, and I just
this isn't a monster that's attacking the town. This is a monster that's just hanging out, and I'm gonna go bust it in its face while it's eating dinner.
Right. Yeah, I think the misconception comes in like you can make those it's criticism, even observations. You can make those observations and point them out and still support the game, still think it's a great game. It doesn't have to be like, hey, this is in the game, so don't buy it, don't play it.
Right.
But I think it is worth at least being aware of it.
We consume a lot of media, and there's a lot of different values and different ideas in the things we consume, and I think it's important to know what you're eating, know what's in your food.
Right.
know what's going into your brain.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
okay, and it's okay if you don't feel that way. If you
Hmm.
get in here and play this, and you just want to smash the shit out of monsters and do backflips and knock their
Yeah,
teeth
that's
out,
fine.
like
It is
no
just a
one's
game.
saying like you need to feel horrible about that. You
Yeah.
need to understand, but
Or you're a bad person.
right, yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, but
Is this the
it's
monster you wrote about, the Pukity-Pukity? What
yeah,
is
it
it?
is. Yep.
Is that how you say
I
it?
think Pukai is how they say it.
Okay,
I call it
okay,
Pukey, but
okay, yeah.
yeah,
I
there's a lot of
had
really cool moments where like all these battles will sprawl across the area. Like you're never just fighting in one area. There's a lot of them running and changing areas, and one monster will show up in the middle of a fight, and it becomes just becomes a big old free for all, and that's really
it's
neat. Those aren't moments that you usually get in single player games.
yeah, that kind of stuff is cool. Like it might be a scripted thing. It might be a thing that it's the game is
It's
saying like, oh, it's
it's
this,
not
but yeah,
right.
it feels like it's totally organic. Like
Mhm.
these things just interact with each other. They're just part of this world, and you know,
Yep, I was fighting, and all of a sudden I'm just like, why is everything on fire? Oh God, there's a dragon here now, and we both just fucked off. We both left. We're like, all right, maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Pukey, and Muckrake too. We're like, fuck this.
Yep, this
Yeah,
job ain't paying enough to deal with no dragon.
you wrote a good long, well, not long, but you wrote a good a piece on this for our website at questlogcast.com. And sometimes when I'm like driving or whatever, I want to read an article, but I don't want to endanger other humans, so I will let
Hmm.
my phone read it to me. There's a feature where it'll like read the screen. It's kind of neat.
Uh-huh.
And Siri was having a hard time with this one. she
Oh
she
yeah,
she kept calling it Pukity-Pukity, and which was cracking me up. But
Ugh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
If if you're having a bad day, have Siri read Brian's article on Monster Hunter, because it's A plus.
Siri, please.
And then we both fucked off to a place that had less fire or whatever it was you said. Less on fire. It was funny. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I was you know,
My biggest problem with the game is that it doesn't lend itself to interruptions well at all, because the missions are timed and you
uh-huh.
can't pause them, because there is a multiplayer aspect in the game if you want there to be. But
Oh,
I'm halfway through a 50-minute mission. My wife's like, "Hey, I'm going to be home in 20 minutes. Can you throw some food on the stove?" And I'm just like, "Shit."
Pukity-Pukity's gonna get the
Yeah.
fuck away if I do that. That's crazy. So, like, there's no way to hack that? Like, you can't. You playing on PS4, right?
Yeah.
If you play the home button, does it like
Um,
suspend the game, or like is
I
that not
don't
a thing?
think so. And
Uh,
there is an offline mode. I haven't tried that yet.
okay.
Maybe I'll give that a try. Maybe you could pause that, but
I have to imagine you can. Like, that seems like a glorious oversight if there's no way to pause it at all. I totally get it if
yeah, I'll,
there's
I'll have
like
to look
other
into
people
that.
in the world and stuff. Yeah, it's
Like,
I can't pause my raid in WoW to be like, hey guys, sorry, bathroom break,
right?
time out on this fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like 16-person, almost instanced little, you know, like little sessions.
like
I don't
versions of
really
the world.
see
Yeah,
any other players ever, and
yeah.
when you go on a quest, you can say, okay, do you want one player, two players, three players, or four? And other people can join you on your quests if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto Online kind of does that. They don't have huge lobbies, but I think it's like 30, maybe 32 players or something max, or 16, something like
Hmm.
that. But it's like, you can still run around and not see anybody for a very long time. Um, there's been other Rockstar games that kind of do the same thing, where it's just kind of when you're playing, you're in an open world and other people might be there or they might not, and you can invite them to come do stuff. So, yeah, that's cool. Man, I don't know. Everything about it seems cool, sounds cool, looks
I
cool.
think you'd probably enjoy it if you had it put in front of you.
Shit. Shit.
Just, you have an Xbox.
I do?
Or is it one of
Yeah.
those Netflix only boxes?
Oh, well, I mean, that's how it is used in my house, yes. But yeah, it could happen. Is it available? It's not available on PC at all yet?
Not yet. I think I want to say they said fall
Oh,
2018.
well, hey, you never know. You never.
I think you'd enjoy it enough to get past the look of it, because it's definitely goofy in places, but
I mean, I play WoW. I
it's
can
worth
deal
it.
with some goofy. I can,
Yeah, sure.
and those kitty cats. I mean,
Oh, they're real good.
it must suck.
Like,
Japan. What is it with Japan and cooking animations? Like
they
they just fucking
nail
get
it.
it. They just get it.
Yeah, like when you go into the water, your kitty cat gets on a little inflatable raft and like paddles along with you because he
Man,
ain't getting wet.
what is it? What is his job? What does he do? What's his?
He fights for you. Like he draws the monster's attention sometimes, so I can sharpen my weapon or heal or line up a shot. Like Kitty heals me.
Does he
Kitty's real
die?
good.
Can he die? Do you have to fix him up if he gets hurt?
Well, you definitely don't. I think he might die. He's got a health meter on the screen that I'm not always 100% aware of.
Okay,
It's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Kitty's strong. Kiki is strong.
man, I I want to play it. I think
I
you
know
sold me on it. I
I
think you sold me.
yeah, I think I think this would work for you very well.
Man, I wonder if this will be available on that the Xbox Game Pass thing.
I don't think so. I think it's only the Microsoft first party
Oh,
games that
okay,
are going to be on that.
okay. Well, I thought I saw some third party stuff, but
I
that's
mean, like
probably like
there
select
is,
stuff.
but
Yeah,
right.
gotcha. Okay, well,
Maybe when it comes to
we'll see.
PC,
Yeah, we'll see. Well, cool,
I
man.
would love doing some multiplayer. That'd be all right.
Hey, you know, and we do have friends that have PS4s too, so like maybe we could get them to watch this and check it out. I don't know. Pukity-Pukity ain't gonna kill
Yeah,
itself.
there it is.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, I think this is as good a spot as any. Let's talk about some news. It's around here somewhere. I'll find it.
Everything okay over there?
I'm looking for my news. There it is. Found it.
News,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, news here. I got your news here. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
If you could think of any video game that you would want turned into a movie, what would you pick?
I'm thinking Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Ooh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. And hey, you're gonna get 50% of that wish, because according to Nintendo of America, its Twitter account, which is super
Rabbids movie?
official. Yeah, yep, they're partnering with Ubisoft and they're bringing a Rabbids movie. They're just gonna animate.
Finally.
But yeah, no, Mario is gonna get his own animated movie, and it's gonna be co-produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and Chris Meledandri.
That sounds like a Tolkien name.
It kind of does, yeah. I had an easier time with the
Meledandri.
Japanese guy's name than Chris
Yeah,
Meledandri.
they're okay. They're doing that, huh?
I mean, there's Amiibo cereal already. I feel like
Yeah.
they gotta have a movie to sell some cereal.
But
Look,
Bob
this
Hoskins is dead.
is yeah. Oh no, R.I.P. Too soon. um, I feel like that's kind of the perfect video game movie in a way. Like, I feel like it's better to
Well,
take
we
Mario.
don't know because we haven't seen a good one yet.
Yeah, there hasn't really been, but that's because they keep trying to take stuff like Assassin's Creed and Prince of Persia and Tomb Raider and make movies out of that instead of like, hey, we already have movies like the Minions and Wreck-It
Sure.
Ralph and shit like that. Like Mario's perfect for that. Just pipes and turtle shells and princesses, and
Now-
it seems fine. I think it's gonna be fine.
Rob in the chat says Ratchet and Clank was okay. That was a movie?
Oh yeah, I believe you
Huh.
when you tell me that, Rob.
Now,
and that's kind of the same thing, right? They're taking cartoony,
something that's already cartoony.
kid-friendly characters and making an animated thing for them.
Not trying to
I
make it-
assume the
Not trying
Ratchet
to
and
make it all
Clank thing,
badass.
it isn't like Elijah Wood starring in the Ratchet and Clank movie, right? It's not live action. They
Is
don't have a suit. Okay, now I gotta find out. Fuck.
So, I have some questions. Well, I have
Sure.
one question.
Yeah.
Is Mario gonna talk?
Well, he's got to.
Does
right?
he?
It's
Because
a
all he
me.
says, that's all he says is woohoo.
He
Like, is he
says,
gonna have
"Let's a
dialogue?
go."
Because if
And
everything he says is in that weird, high, shouty voice, it's gonna be real fucking weird.
Mario gonna take you to the movies.
Okay, never mind. You've sold me on it.
Luigi, we gotta go to the castle. Save the toad.
Is it gonna be sort of like horribly racist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Is it gonna be
all.
like a 1930s cartun? Is it
I
just gonna be
think
like
that's.
we're all the Italian?
Did you ever see
Yeah.
the animated
How about some
show, the TV
spaghetti?
show? Did you ever see the TV
Yeah,
show, the
yeah,
cartoon?
I did. Do the Mario.
It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so good.
Swing your arms from side to side, Tyler.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
It's so good.
that was Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, those are
Man,
words. Yeah.
he was a wrestler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lou Albano in the 80s.
Wow.
I
TIL.
used to like wrestling, and then I like turned 11, and then like no offense to
Did you
anyone
hear that, wrestling
anywhere.
fans? Did you hear that? Yeah. Oh man, look at
No,
this!
it's
Look at this poster for Ratchet and Clank.
people can like things. It's fine.
Pick some asteroid. It says.
Whoa.
And okay, Google, come on, please. Anyway, yeah, it's an animated thing. That's fine. And Rob says
Fits.
it was good. It was a CG thing, so there you go. Do that with Mario and print money, and everything will be fine. Hey, speaking of Mario and Nintendo,
Speak of it.
Mario Kart is gonna come to mobile. Called Mario Kart Tour. What do you think
That-
about that?
That sounds like it's going to be the worst to me.
Here's
Maybe
my
it
prediction.
won't, but
Here's my
try.
prediction.
Okay, hit me.
There's no on-screen controls. Nintendo will sell a peripheral, what you stick your phone into that looks like a steering wheel. Everyone will have to use motion controls to steer it. That's my prediction.
That would be better than on-screen controls.
I kind of agree.
I still don't want to play it.
Right.
I'm very skeptical after Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Mario Run.
Uh-huh.
I know you liked Mario Run.
Yeah.
I respect you.
Most people didn't. I get it. It didn't sell. They admitted that it was a not success. And yeah. The question is, will they learn from that? And is Mario Kart Tour just a stopgap between a proper Switch Mario Kart that isn't just the Wii U version with more stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know.
hope it works out for them, as always, but
Actually, here's the thing I learned when I got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. I kind of learned that Mario Kart is it's the same game that I played on the SNES. It hasn't really changed. And it doesn't really need to. It still is what it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I kind of feel like a mobile version can't really be worse, but it also can't really be much better either. I think the
Rob is right. Like, they released one for the Switch. I don't want that.
right.
Why,
So
why do I want it on my phone? Like, that's just me.
yeah, there's sometimes when I think the platform makes the product worthwhile. Like there's a certainly argument for things being on the Switch and having them on the go and that being a thing.
Do
I
people
guess-
want that?
What? You know, to have things on
All
the
their
go?
games on the go? Everything on the
I think
Switch?
so. I guess the only real benefit that I could see with Mario Kart is that you have an even larger install base. I mean, everyone has a smartphone, so unless like the setup is like, well, you can play a version of Mario Kart with anyone now. They don't have to have a Switch. You don't have to have a Switch. It's just here's a Mario Kart game, and you can throw shells at each other and have a good time. I don't know. That's kind of neat. I'm kind of glad that that might exist.
Oh, I'm glad. I guess it's good that they're sticking to the mobile market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't expect them to go this way with it, but
I think that is something that we've learned
see.
is that Nintendo will never go the way that you expect them to go with anything.
this is true.
Speaking of
This is
which,
true.
question. Okay, I gotta go back real quick to the Mario movie. We're assuming Mario's in it and he will talk. I'm gonna say that's probably like 90% certain that Luigi's in it and he will also talk.
Yeah.
Will we get some character development finally for Waluigi? That's what I want to know.
You're asking the tough questions.
Yeah.
I think you might be disappointed. And
Just
Luigi's going to
saying.
get all the good lines.
That's true.
He's going to get all the I'm the piece of shit idiot that no one likes lines, and we're all going to laugh because it's true.
It's fucking Luigi.
He's tall and he wears green.
That is
Good
true.
job.
To do those things, both of those things. All right. Hey, it's a Nintendo heavy news week here, folks. Nintendo Switch Online will launch September 2018.
Man.
For sure this time. You guys, seriously.
They've almost got it cracked and sorted out, this problem that has been solved by Sony and Microsoft, what, more than a decade ago?
I don't understand what the purpose of this
understand.
tweet is. Like, I want to believe that they were like, we finally got the graphic design done. Like, it's just called Nintendo Switch Online. Everyone
Yes.
and the marketing team finally put their spit on it. They, got that ready to go and put it out there. And they're like, okay, here you go. It's called Nintendo Switch Online. What do you think? And like, it's maybe just for investors. I don't know, because they didn't say anything about it. They didn't.
No.
We don't know anything more than the little hints that they've dropped in the past. And yeah.
So there's really no. We have nothing new to say on this. I don't understand how this is so hard for them to implement.
Yeah.
In 2017, 2018 now. Just like voice chat and online and multiplayer has just been such a basic feature for so long.
Since the Xbox, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The first one. Yep. I don't know, man. It's real weird, but.
And they had the weird, we're going to pack in a few classic games for you that are going to go away at the end of each month.
But have scoreboards and multiplayer. And
they've got to revisit that, because that feels like either give us something worthwhile or don't give us anything. That feels like that's like leaving a 12-cent tip when you go out to eat. It's just like, we thought of you. We just gave you shit. Here's Ice Climbers. Play it with your friends.
Yeah, anyone who has ever paid for Balloon Fight, that's the only people that want to pay for Balloon Fight ever. So, I don't know, man. Like, releasing the SNES version of Mario Kart and having it like have multiplayer that I can play with friends and have leaderboards and stuff on, that's a cool idea. But
yeah, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to play it once for 15 minutes and be like, that was neat, and then I'm never going to play it again.
Right. But like, don't you think that more people would probably spend $5 to do exactly that?
To play it once for 15 minutes and never play it again? Yes, I do.
And then they could just, but then expand that to their entire catalog. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just weird.
It's kind of a moot point for me.
And then you can just have the games whatever you want to play them. I don't know.
I don't have much that I want to play online with anyone on any platform, let alone on the Switch. So this is me arguing over something I don't care about. If it was already out and active, I probably wouldn't use it. It's just weird. It's a weird Nintendo thing. It's just a weird Nintendo thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like many things, like most things that are related to Nintendo. It's weird.
Yeah.
The next one isn't really so much of a news article as it is. There's just been a lot of rumors that Microsoft might acquire someone.
Yeah, well, I think with the Game Pass announcement, I think it's kind of assumed that they kind of have to. It's like, we're going to give you all of our first-party work, of which we don't have very much at all.
Yeah.
The rumors flying around are crazy. People are talking about acquiring EA or Valve, which, never say never, but that would be major. And it's all just rumors. I can't find anything, definitive on it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm sure it's
understand.
been mentioned. I'm sure it's been mentioned in meetings because, someone says we need to acquire a studio, and someone else says, what about EA?
Right. I don't know what goodwill that would do for either party, but it feels like probably none.
Probably not. And EA's
um,
got licenses for Star Wars, and they've got licenses with like, the NFL, and I'm sure they would have a say in
I,
them
I
being acquired by Microsoft.
I have to assume that this all stems from somebody like the people who know about these kind of things and acquisitions and whatever would be like, well, now would be the time, right? Like now would be the time to strike on an EA
EA's
who
wounded.
is just, yeah, like, hey, why don't you come on here to daddy? We got the big bucks. We'll buy you out. We'll let you get out of this. And you can continue making games, but we'll just have the final say. So, hey, maybe that terrible thing that happened to you wouldn't happen again. Might be appealing. I don't know. And it's still strange to me. I would have to assume that they would go with, smaller
Yeah,
studios making exciting things. But then again, that's also what kind of happened to No Man's Sky, and that didn't really pan out either. I don't know.
yeah. I think that was handled badly by multiple parties.
Yeah,
That's putting it mildly. Yeah.
right. Maybe it's more of just like, hey, somebody crunched the numbers and realized how much Microsoft spent on Minecraft and how much money they have in profits, and just went, hey, technically they could buy
I,
Valve, like,
I'm sure they could,
right, or they could buy EA, like
but
that's.
then they have Steam. Like, I don't like the sound of that.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that either. I think that would be probably very
They could
bad for.
they could run Steam just like the Windows Store.
Yeah, be super duper successful. I'm sure of it. Yeah, if you hate Steam's restrictive DRM, then you're gonna love it under Microsoft. I'm sure. I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
know.
see what happens. I expect some announcements.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I expect those, but some announcements.
I heard a rumor that there might be a new Fable game in the works.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I, I kind of hope there is, because I used to really like that series, or I liked parts of that series. I guess I like that
It's
universe. I like that
it's
world.
got some name recognition still. They could do worse than to revive that franchise, and of course it's got to be good.
I played. Gosh, I don't think we were doing the show yet when that beta died, but they had a beta out for the. I think it was called Fable Legends. I want to say it was like,
Sounds believable.
it's hard to explain what it was. It was kind of a mix of like a MOBA and Diablo and Fable. It was you had specific characters that you could unlock, but you were playing through like a multiplayer dungeon crawl. It wasn't so much like a PvP type thing at all. It was, you're playing through this dungeon, and the unique part of it was one player could also play as like the dungeon master, set up the dungeon and set up encounters and control where the AI was going to spawn and that kind of stuff. It was kind of neat. I played the beta of it, and it seemed like a well-made game. It seemed like it was going to be kind of a neat free-to-play thing,
Hmm.
and they just shit canned it and closed the studio. And I don't
Rob
know.
says he thought that was being worked on by the same team that does the Forza Horizon series.
What, a Fable game? That would
I
be
assume so. Yeah.
that would be interesting. I mean, those games are extremely successful, and they seem to do the
Mhm.
open world stuff very well. So Fable has always tried to be that and never quite got there. It was always a very closed environments that felt like rich and
Yeah.
interesting, but never really open. So
It
that
was
might be
hard for
cool.
them to live up to all the stuff that Peter Molyneux promised early on. Like,
Right.
all the stuff he pitched sounded really cool, but it ended up feeling very generic to me, where it's like, there's a puppy. If you kick it, you'll grow horns, and if you pet it, you'll get wings.
Yeah, you'll get a
Okay.
little halo over your head.
Just,
Yeah.
yep, black or white, which is it?
Funny that they made a game called Black and White
Hey, yeah, they did.
not long before that.
Lionhead Studios. Yep.
Don't stray too far from that stream, I guess.
I bought a new PC and ran that. Yep,
Yep.
back in '99 or whenever it was.
Yeah, and it was like other ridiculous stuff too. Like half of this is on gamers for like caring about every little minute detail too. Like I remember the big thing was like if you get a seed and plant it in the
Right.
ground, it will grow into a tree, and 50 years later it'll be this enormous tree that you've taken care of if you water it. No one cares. No one cares about that. But
Rob says Playground is the developer.
oh, okay. Oh, cool. Like, hey, it sounds like it's a thing. If they've got people actually working on it, I would love to see more. If it's in this rumor stage, we probably won't actually see a game until late 2019 or 2020 or whatever. But
might get a tease at E3.
Yeah, I know I would be excited. That is a franchise that I've always wanted to love, and there's been little things that have kept me from like fully investing in those. So I don't know. It's, I guess, fully investing. I played every mainline game. I played 1, 2, and 3. So I guess they got me.
Right. Yeah, but you wanted better.
Yeah, I mean there was just, again, it was kind of that stuff never quite fully lived up to what they said. The big thing for me in Fable 3 was like Molyneux got out and said, okay, you're gonna have this living weapon, and your weapon is gonna change depending on what you do with it. It will morph, and at the end of the game you're gonna have a totally unique weapon that is there won't be any other one like it. And what that ended up being is like you had this sword, and after you killed 100 Balverines, if that stat was higher than killing 100 golems, then you got the hilt that matched the Balverine theme. And then the next stage was like if your health was higher than your mana, then you got the health thing. And it was just,
I feel like that's one of those things that he goes out and promises, and the people who are working on the game are like, what the fuck is he doing? We can't. How are we going to do that?
Who the fuck let Molyneux on camera again? Ted, you're fucking fired. Your whole job is to keep him from talking to anyone.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever like knowingly lying or malicious. I just think he's a dreamer, and he reaches and he wants to do all these things, and maybe he doesn't.
He would get an idea and like
fall in love with it.
Yeah, and instead of like that being the pitch that he gives to the devs in a meeting, he would pitch that to the media, who wrote it down and then posted it on their websites as a quote. So everyone else went, okay, that exactly is going to be in the game then. And it never was. So yeah, maybe him not being involved will be the best thing to happen for that franchise, and we'll get a game that lives up to nobody's expectations, because we don't know what to expect anymore. So there you go. I'm excited. We'll see. But yeah. Shoot, what was the other thing we're gonna do? Oh, you brought up a cool topic. Games that we have never finished but always wanted to. The one that got away. That was what you. Yeah, that was your topic.
I think we're gonna try having a weekly discussion topic on the show.
I'll get music for that. There'll be a music transition.
Insert music here.
Yeah, it'll be right there. Yeah, that's a cool topic, because I mean, shit. I could crack open my Steam library and probably list off a good 20 or so games that could meet that requirement. But what did you have in mind?
With this, I was thinking more of games that you're never going to go back to, or feel like you can't go back to, like things that you missed. It's not just things I haven't finished yet. A couple came to mind for me. The first was Baldur's Gate 2. Like, I loved those isometric top-down D&D role-playing games. I loved them. Like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Planescape Torment. Those are some of my favorite games ever, and I never got very far into Baldur's Gate 2. And everyone says, like, that's one of the best role-playing games ever made. That's like a standard bearer for that genre.
The watermark for the
Yep. I think by that time I was so burned out, because I had played Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale 2, and Planescape Torment all within the span of a couple of years. Wow. Like there were 2 or 3 years where those kind of games were real hot, and they were just churning them out, and I loved them. By the time Baldur's Gate 2 came around, I was worn. I was
weathered, beaten. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I get that.
And I don't think I can go back and play it now.
There's things like Diablo 2 is a game that I wish I would have experienced when it was new.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
I know. I believe everyone who tells me that.
But yeah, you can't go to that game in 2018 for the first time, and
right. It just missed me, you know.
Yeah. The other one for me was Warcraft 3. Like that's another one that I really largely missed on, and there's no playing it now. I'm sure.
Warcraft 3 came out not very long before World of Warcraft.
Yep.
And I remember my buddy Cody, shout out Cody Reynolds. Probably not listening, but he was the one who got me into WoW in the first place. I remember going over to Cody's house and he was like, "You got to see this game." It's like, "Fuck man, I know, like, okay, I know everyone's playing WoW, but I don't care." And and he was like, "No, just check this out." And I remember
just a tiny taste. He breathe it in.
He was in Thunder Bluff in the Tauren capital, which was like, it's in this beautiful mountain across these plains, and he climbs this giant totem tower, the spiral tower, and hops on a wyvern and flies this thing, over to the crossroads, and like
and you're seeing players running around under you, and
what the this is so cool. And I had never played anything in the Warcraft universe. I'd never played the RTSs, or I think there was like an adventure game or something that came out too, but I was not really much of a PC gamer at all by that point when I was in high school. And he was like, "Yeah, man, like the Warcraft series is really cool," and he had a copy of Warcraft 3 as well. And so like after he showed me all that, he booted that up, and I was like, okay, like this is, I think I can do that other one, but this is like super involved. But I remember after
managing
playing,
armies and getting weapon upgrades, and
but like flash forward to, I think it was like a year and a half, and we'd been playing WoW for a long time. We ran a guild together and all this stuff. And I was like so into it. I got really into the lore and everything. And I wanted to find out like why these characters were all where they are.
Just who is Thrall?
Right. World of Warcraft starts off saying like 10 years ago this happened, and now it's 10 years in the future, and this is where we are. So I picked up Warcraft 3 and played through every single campaign over the course of like, I don't know, like 2 weeks or something. All of it. That and the Frozen Throne DLC, and I just devoured it. And it was like, I was like, okay, I think I get why people are super into this. And I remember reading a bunch of like feedback that people didn't like the hero system in that game as much. Like
I didn't.
Yeah,
that's what chased me off of it, because I had an RTS called Warlords Battlecry 2 that also had heroes that persisted, and like you kept them from one battle to the next, and they learned new skills and got new gear. Every time you played them, they'd gain XP and gain levels, and I hated that in Warcraft 3 your heroes just went away at the end of the mission. They were just okay, reset them back to 1, and that always bugged me. And that, like, I think I also had that chip on my shoulder. I'm like, everyone loves this fucking game. Well, this other thing no one has heard of is way better. So fuck Warcraft 3.
Right. Yeah, I get that, but I was playing it for the story, and even then it felt dated. Like it was like 2005, 2006 maybe at the latest.
Those graphics didn't age well.
Like, not at all. And that it wasn't even that old at that point. But yeah, like when it came out, it didn't look great. That game was in development for a really long time. So I totally forgive anyone for missing out on that. Like I get it, but there is a cool story there.
Like PS1 kind of like everything looks real angular and jagged and boxy.
Yeah, it's bad.
That whole era didn't age well in the looks department.
Nope. But Blizzard, they have some cool storytelling to do, and
2002. Rob says it came out.
Okay, all right. So so 2 years before World of Warcraft was released. So that actually, okay, that lines up a little bit better.
That tracks. Yeah.
That tracks. Yeah. I guess I'll believe you, Rob. Yeah, man. A big one for me. It's not a big game, but it is one of those Steam library things. It's Brothers. Everyone tells me that's such a cool game, and I played maybe like an hour or so of it. I just wasn't
Played more
feeling
of it than I did.
Yeah,
I
mean,
played
maybe
about
that
15
long.
minutes, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I hate this. Aren't you like switching off control between the two?
You control both at the same time with other, like, one half of the controller controls one character and the other half controls the other, and it's like I already get where this is going. Everyone talks about how gut-wrenching it is and stuff, and so I felt like, well, okay, you didn't spoil it, but I figured out what the gimmick is here. Like,
my heart's already pre-broken going into it.
Yeah, you know you're gonna lose one, and you're gonna be playing this fucking game with one hand, and going like, okay, literally
sobbing.
My other hand doesn't do anything anymore.
It's like part of me is gone.
I get that. Okay, you don't have. Thanks for trying not to spoil it and still spoiling it. So, yeah, I don't know. That's one that I know I won't finish, but I kind of wish I would. But at the same time, maybe I don't need to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ship has sailed. But yeah, between that and Diablo 2, those are the only thing that come to my mind as like big, kind of regrets, I guess. Or things that kind of got away from me. That's a neat thing. That's something that we could definitely revisit. I mean, I hope that you don't have to add every cool PS4 game that's coming out soon to that list in the future. I'll find it eventually.
It'll happen.
If I gotta break into Best Buy and steal one, no.
Yeah.
I would never do that. But if I have to.
Last resort.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I think that's going to be a show for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. Shout out to Zembosis. Shout out Haskarath. Appreciate you guys showing up week to week.
Nightbot, thanks for keeping it civil in there.
Nightbot, yeah. Nightbot, you need to chill a little bit. Okay, we don't. If someone wants to spam our chat, I'm cool with it.
No riffraff.
Yeah. Hey, you can find the show on social media. I'm out there on the Questlogcast at Questlogcast. If you wanna share your thoughts with the show, tell us what you want us to talk about. Tell us what your biggest game you regret is. Man, give us a shout. You can
check out our MySpace page.
We're on.
It's got music.
We're on Tumblr. We actually are on Tumblr, kind of in a way. Questlogcast.com. It's there every week. Brian's writing cool stuff. He's put up like 3 different articles, and they're all really good. So you should write them and tell him what a good boy he is.
Yeah.
He's a special boy. He writes.
Just validate
good.
me, please.
Yeah. Do that. Hey, if you're listening to this show on iTunes, throw us a review. If you really like it, 5 stars is a great review to give us, and that'll help us out a ton. If you're like, hey man, I really like this show and I really want to help these guys out, go over there and give that sucker 5 stars. And hey, if you do, I'll read your review right here on the show. So there you go. Promise from me to you.
Yeah. Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that.
Fucking smash it.
Just fucking smash it. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you guys next week for episode 65. Have a great evening. Or
take
morning.
care.
Or afternoon. Wherever you're listening to this. It's fine.